tonight, and I'm going to provide a brief introduction, is get us involved in the concept of talking about civility and then in community engagement. Let me provide a brief intro of our presenter, Dr. Nikita Imani, and I know him from the Black Studies Department. And I'm going to give a brief intro because he had asked not to go long-winded, which he has a long resume. But he's a professor of Black Studies at UNO. He's the president and CEO of Reap Life Company. He's also an author, musician, artist, poet, lifelong African community activist, and a servant of the Lord. His name is Darapa and Reverend Doc, okay? And basically, the other thing I want to share with him is that sometimes in academia and so on, we sometimes have thin skin. And I know one of the previous directors, like an Audi, but sometimes I did a presentation on what did Malcolm X say about Black studies. And I was at a conference doing this, and what happened from that conference is some people got upset with some of the comments that I made about what would Malcolm X say about our Black studies. And as an adjunct, I didn't teach for a number of years until Dr. Imani came into town and he gave me an opportunity to teach in the department. And I share that out of a sense of humility, but out of a sense of sometimes when we deal with issues that are controversial or challenging, we should be able to deal with those issues on the merits of what people have to say. And that's, again, part of the spirit of tonight. We should be able to bring people into our circles who have disagreements with us to help us to grow in different ways. So without much further ado, Dr. Imani.
Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can everybody hear me okay? Wonderful. I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes talking about this. If we can get to the next slide here. Oh, she's coming. Okay, she's on her way. All right. Okay, I want to talk about community and civic engagement. Some do's and don'ts. For the last almost 30 years, I've spent my life as a minister, as a community activist. I was a junior Panther, part of the youth groups that the Panthers had years ago. So I've been doing community service, community activism for a long time, and I've often been asked, how do you do this thing? How do you engage? I usually start off with the only way to get to it is to do it. A lot of times people get stuck on the runway. And if you think about many of the things in life that you've done where you've had to kind of break through boundaries of fear and hesitation that you had, ultimately when you look back, you're going to realize that you just started doing it. And I've met a lot of people over the years, like, I'd really like to do something in housing. And I'd meet them 6 months later, I'd really like to do something in housing. And it would go on and on and on, and they never ever actually engage. So the first thing I'm going to say about engagement is the antidote for having not engaged before is to engage. And with that being said, these are some of the lessons that I've learned over the years when I was involved in the process of trying to engage. And since this whole framework is very much concerned about race relations, ethnic relations, going across communities and within communities. I'm going to focus a little bit on that. I am more like you than unlike you. One of the rhetorics in American society is that we are so different as to be fundamentally irreconcilable as human beings. As a sociologist, as a minister, as a world traveler, as a person who has been active, I am stunned more by the fact that human beings are fundamentally the same and have fundamentally some of the same concerns and issues and challenges than I am by the differences. It's not that I'm unaware of the differences, but I'm also aware that the rhetoric of difference itself is sometimes an obstacle to us engaging with one another. Everywhere I go, I find that parents want the best for their children. I find that people want the best economic and employment opportunities. I find that they want access to good civic facilities and housing and all the other things that human beings want. And I find that that is amazingly consistent regardless of what particular manifestation of human being they happen to be. And I think it's important as you engage to recognize that, because that helps us conquer fear. I believe that faith conquers fear. Faith and an understanding of the basic humanity of each individual is the basis for us conquering our fear of engaging one another. Number two, I have my own knowledge and experience, perhaps different than yours, but worthy of respect. Therefore, engagement is about an exchange of information rather than a monologue. One of the things that I've written on over the years was there was this thing called social services. Back in the 60s. We use that term for some different things now, but in the 1960s there was this big war on poverty and they had these social services. And basically these people would come to your house and say, I'm going to fix your family for you. And I was really impressed. You don't know me, you don't know my family, but you're going to fix it for me. I'm really impressed. That seems like almost a magician's act or something. I don't know what's going to happen, but magically, somehow, without any knowledge of who I am, what I've been through, what my community's been through, without any knowledge of the political, social, economic context, you are magically going to fix my family. No, you're going to mess me up. And I know you're going to mess me up, which is why I'm shutting this door. And as I shut this door, I'm going to say something to you that's going to discourage you from ever coming back to my door. In fact, I may say something so insightful that you may not come to any door of anyone that looks like me again, anywhere in the geographic area where I may have been located. And so we have to kind of not get into that mentality. Every human being has their own experience and their own knowledge. And each of these experiences and knowledges are particular to that person, and particular to that community, and particular to those families. And they are valuable and worthy of respect. So when I come in as a person who's going to engage and help others engage and help others accomplish social tasks, I've got to do that first with that sense of respect and also realizing that it is a dialogue and not a monologue. I am not there to fix your family. I'm there to learn something about you, and perhaps in the process of learning about you, I'll learn about your family. And perhaps I'll share some knowledge about my family. And perhaps we'll find some common ground about family. And perhaps we'll be able to do some work. You cannot help me if you don't know what I'm trying to do. Too often, and again, consistent with that mentality, there's this notion of I know what you need. And I'm going to help you. And then when you get rebuffed, then you get that attitude. The nerve of you. I came all this way to help you do this thing that I decided was important, and you didn't accept it. How could you? You're ungrateful. And I'm going to use that as my excuse for never doing anything else. For y'all. Whoever y'all happens to be. But you see, if I'm going to help you, I've got to ask you. The basic principle of human respect is I've got to ask you where you're going. I go to all kinds of meetings, for example, about North Omaha. I'm going to get in trouble with this part, Jamal. So if I say something that makes you mad, do the Sesame Street thing. Phenomena, just not tell people. That's what you do. What did he say? Phenomena. Okay. So, but I go to all these meetings, and there's nobody from North Omaha at the North Omaha What We Gonna Do meeting. Now, for me, that's a problem. For some people, that's not a problem. They go on, they have the meet, they allocate the funds, they get the resources, they say when it's going to open and what the plan is. I'm like, wait a minute. How can we possibly help, however that's defined, a group of people without knowing, without going, without showing any of those activities, without doing any of that? How can we help? What we're likely to do is to make things worse. What we're likely to do is become another oppressive structure that people are going to have to resist against. An ally is someone who stands with me in my cause rather than asking me to stand with them in theirs. A lot of people are a little confused about ally. An ally means I stand with you. That means you're leading it. That means you're leading it and I'm standing there. Some of us have real problems with allyship because we allow our egos to get in the way. It would be easy for me to do that. I got a lot of college degrees and I'm well known and I got all this. So I could easily stand up there in front of the cameras and articulate and I could decide that I'd be the voice. There's a lot of people that want to be the voice for somebody. Obviously we have a whole lot of leaders And in the African proverb says, if you're a leader and you're not taking the people with you and you work with everybody, the people, you're just a really crazy man taking a stroll. And some of us as activists and as people who want to engage, we kind of get in that position where we want to be seen on television and newspapers. I don't care if my name is not mentioned. I am truly interested in working for the people. I'm an employee. I am a servant. I do not seek to be served, and I do not seek glory. And so your attitude towards your engagement is really, really important. If you're truly committed to engagement and you're truly committed to community building and involvement, that's a thankless job. There won't be many awards for that. There won't be $100 a plate banquets. There won't be a whole lot of nonprofit recognition and honors and cash coming your way. But there will be a sense of consciousness. Don't stop by, stay a while. Nothing more destructive to engagement and involvement with communities is when you just visit at a certain time, right? We all know those politicians. Ain't never seen them. Don't know who they are. How you doing? I'm John Smith. I represent that party. And you don't know my platform, I'm not going to discuss my platform. I'm just here at your barbecue because I want your vote. And after I get your vote, you're never going to see me again. At least until the next election, when I'm going to be back at the barbecue, asking you again for your vote. The same thing happens with engagement. Don't engage me today. Engage. Build a relationship with me that is going to be sustained. And by the way, you have to build a relationship first before you ask me for stuff. Before you try to carve out a position for yourself, you actually have to build that relationship. How do you build that relationship? I haven't seen you at my church. Did you come by my barbershop? Do you have a subscription to my community newspaper? Did you stop by the radio station? Were you at the parade? Did you stop by the high school and visit the kids? You understand what I'm saying? I actually have to, in a sense, not just talk about community, but I actually have to conduct myself in a way where I say, I want to be part of your world. I want to be engaged on it, not just for right now, for some specific purpose, but I really want to do that because, and not because of some special reason that I'm offering some charity work on your behalf, but because I care about you as a human being. And here's the real rub. I'm actually going to invite you to my community too. You ever notice how sometimes it's a one-way street? Yeah, I'm happy to be in North Omaha to help you. Okay, now, when we get through helping over here, I'm going back to your neighborhood. What y'all do? And sometimes they look at me like, we need some? Oh, yes, you do. If you're a human being, you have needs. I'm cool with you if you're cool with the people I know. We are social beings. Now, if you just show up out of nowhere, you have a name. It's called stranger. And I don't like being around strangers too long. And as human beings, we don't really do the stranger thing. So that means I got to get to know you. And the best way for me to get to know you is for you to get to know some of the people I know. I call this the vetting process. I used to tell politicians, they say, well, I want to get involved in the community and get some votes. And they say, but I go around and talk to people, and they just kind of walk off because they don't know you. That's why they're walking off. They don't know you, they don't know what you stand for, and they've never seen you before. So maybe you need to go down to the barbershop. Go down to the barbershop, sit for a little while, and listen to the conversation, the political conversation, the social conversation, the economic conversation of the community. Get involved and become part of the dialogue, and then people will know you. Hey, I saw Bob down at the barbershop. That means Bob might be okay. It's very important if you're going into a community to do that process of vetting. Sometimes we are not humble enough to be vetted. Don't let my oppression become your occupation. Okay, now this is another part where I may get in trouble. So I'm just warning you. Don't let my oppression become your occupation. There's a difference between human service, driven by compassion, driven by love, driven by ethics, driven by mercy, driven by all of those things, those positive spiritual values, and also becoming an organized representative of the system in which your role is basically to manage my oppression and my suffering. There are too many people in Omaha right now, and I won't mention any names, but you know who they are. And their job, their mission, is to get paid on the misery and suffering. Now, if you're getting paid for the misery and the suffering, it means that you're not going to do too much to alleviate the misery and the suffering, because if you actually did, there wouldn't be any misery and suffering, and we wouldn't need you. There's a difference between a revolutionary homeless advocate and a homeless specialist. You don't want to become a homeless specialist. Because see, if you're a homeless specialist, you're like, well, I'm an expert on homeless. I get paid by this agency or a nonprofit. Lots of money by a nonprofit. Don't make me a philanthropist who don't live in the community. I get paid by these people to talk about the homelessness of this community and address the homeless, and I design all these programs. But you'll notice that over a 10-year period, 20-year, 30-year period, ain't nobody got no house. Nothing seems to be happening. The rate of the homeless is the same because, in fact, it's got to stay close to the same because I've got to have job legitimacy. My role as a community activist is to eliminate my role. My job is to eliminate my job, to impart sufficient resources and skills to the people I seek to serve that they can operate without me. And I'm not disappointed when it happens. I'm excited when it happens. Separate my critique of the system and the ideas from you. This is that don't take it personal. If I want to get up and talk about white supremacy, I ain't talking about you. And it's important for you to know that, because people get kind of sensitive. Oh, you're talking about patriarchy. What, you got a problem with me? As a man? Or you can't critique any system of power because people take it so personal. See, let me help you a little bit. I'm a sociologist by training. These are social systems. They're not personal. Nobody in this room created white supremacy ideology. Most of you in this room, I'm almost sure, you don't agree with it. Wouldn't vote for it if it was on the ballot. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And as a person of color, I'm going to have to talk about it. I'm going to have to fight it. I'm going to have to resist it. Please understand, I'm not your enemy. White supremacy ideology is the enemy of every human being that lives, because it is based on the proposition that some human beings are superior to others, that some human beings have no spiritual or personal or material value. Any person of conscience should oppose that kind of thinking. And the same is true for any system of oppression. So please, don't take it personally. An invitation to your party is different than inviting me to the party planning committee. There's a difference between diversity and inclusion. I stopped talking about diversity a long time ago. We have diversity in this room. Congratulations. And sometimes we celebrate that. We didn't have a celebration for diversity. I'm really going to shock you right now. Do you know the United States has been diverse from its inception? I know some people, they get that memo. Okay? I got the email before email was invented that America was already diverse. I mean, you know what I mean by diverse. Different languages and different cultures, people from different countries. I mean, I do lectures on, I'm back in the 1800s. I'm already talking about California having 23 or 24 different ethnic groups and all this kind of stuff. This is not a recent development. So you cannot impress me by getting a bunch of different looking folks in the room, or different speaking folks in the room, or different believing folks in the room, and say diversity and we didn't accomplish something. I need inclusion. And when we talk about inclusion, now we're talking about this thing called power. See? Because I can invite you to my party. Come on in. I excluded you from my party. I feel so bad about that. So I'm going to send you out a special invitation just for you. Now, when you get to the party, don't question my music. Right? Don't mess with my decorations. This is the food that I chose. In fact, what I want you to do is just be so happy that you're there. And I might stop the music and turn the light on and get you a microphone. And I want you to tell everybody in the world how happy you are at my party. And I've been that person at somebody else's party, asked to don the microphone and tell them how happy I was. Of course, they didn't invite me back. But I'd rather be on the party planning committee. I want to be in there when we're passing out the resources. I want to be in there when we're making the decisions about how we're going to allocate things and what we're going to set up and what we're going to do together. Because if I'm going to be part of we, I got to be in the planning part of we, not in the recipient or receiving part of we. If you're running an organization right now, and a lot of organizations, they're having they want to diversify. Let me suggest to you that if you do inclusion instead of diversity, you'll get the diversity as a bonus. Because if you start sharing power, if you start sharing influence, incorporating ideas from as many possible sectors of society and communities as you possibly can, your organization will be recognized as an organization that does that, and you won't have any problem recruiting. Anytime you see an organization having that never-ending diversity campaign, it's because they never started the inclusion campaign. That's what I learned. That's what I had to share. I want to thank you for sharing with me your most precious resource, that's your time. I hope that I gave you some things to think about and talk about. Have a wonderful week.
always be. I gave to you my soul and heart. You said we would never part. Fill my hopes and dreams for two. I gave all my love.